Hi everybody. What I wanted to do is post a short video, maybe about a 5-minute video is what I'm planning on anyway, on how to use a tool called the Sling Psychrometer. It's kind of a funny name, psychrometer. It has the silent P in it, like psychiatry or psychology. And the psychrometer is a tool that we can use to measure humidity in the air. And I think that everybody knows that the air is sometimes more humid and sometimes more dry. In the summertime, maybe the air is really humid and we feel sticky. You feel that kind of sticky feeling. And then other times of the air is really dry, especially in the wintertime. Some of you get dry skin, and that's because of really dry air in the wintertime. And we'll talk about that more as we go along. At this point, what I want to do is just show you how to use this tool to measure humidity. In later videos, you'll learn about what the numbers we get today really mean. But for today, all I really want you to be able to do is get an answer, even if you don't really understand what it means. And we'll go into the meaning of it another day. So here we could see the psychrometer. It's basically just a handle with a screw. And then attached to the end of the handle are two thermometers. So here I've got one just regular basic student thermometer, Celsius on one side, Fahrenheit on the other. We have the red liquid, which is not mercury. A lot of people think it is. It's just rubbing alcohol with basically red food coloring added to it. Now on the other side of the psychrometer, we have a second thermometer. But if you look carefully, what you'll see is down here at the bottom, there's a little piece of fabric. Sometimes it's called a sock, even though it's obviously just a little piece of fabric. And that little piece of fabric is going to make a big difference. So we have two thermometers back to back. One is just a plain ordinary thermometer, and the other one is still a plain ordinary thermometer, except it has this piece of fabric attached to it. Now, to use the psychrometer, what you're going to do is get a little bit of water. So here I have a small beaker of water, and what I'm going to do is dip the one thermometer only in. So only the one thermometer. I'm going to split them apart. The one thermometer that has the fabric on it, I'm going to dip in the water for just a second or two. You don't have to use a cup. I just used a cup because, well, it's easy to show under the camera. But when you do this in the classroom, you could just use the sink and just put it right under the sink. Basically, all you need to do is just get this wet with some water. So now the fabric is wet. And now what you do is you take it by the handle. And I can't really do this under a projector very well, so I'm going to move away from the projector with it and come back. But basically, I'm just going to spin this around by the handle. So I'm going to take it by the handle, and I'm just going to twirl it. You can probably hear it kind of spinning around in circles. I can't really very easily show it. But you're just going to spin it around for a little while. And, sometimes students will ask, well, how long do I spin it for? There really isn't a set answer. It doesn't really matter that much. You just do it for a little while, maybe like 30 seconds or so. There isn't really like a time that you keep track of. Now, after a little while, we'll check the temperatures, and we'll see how they look. One thermometer is wet with the water, and the other thermometer is dry. And we call the dry thermometer the dry bulb. The bulb is the little round part on the bottom of the thermometer. So one thermometer is called the dry bulb, and the other is called the wet bulb. So we have a dry bulb and a wet bulb on our Sling Psychrometer. Okay, so I probably spun that around for long enough. And what I'm going to do is get just a little bit of scrap paper where I could just write down some numbers. So I'm going to ask you to do the same when you go to try this out. So here's my scrap paper, and I'm going to quickly look at the numbers. And I'm going to measure the wet bulb first. And I'm going to do this in degrees Celsius. So if I take a look at it, here I've got 10, there's 15, maybe like 14 or so. 11, 12, 13, 14. It's kind of halfway between, but let's go 14 degrees Celsius. So my wet bulb is equal to 14 degrees C. And now I'm going to check my dry bulb. That's the thermometer without any water on it. And when I look at that, I'm going to have a higher temperature. And I'm going to have a higher temperature every time, no matter what the season is or what the air temperature is. the dry bulb is always going to be warmer than the wet bulb. And one of the things that we'll talk about in a later video is that evaporation is what's called a cooling process. And as we spin the thermometer around, the water evaporates out of that fabric, and it has the effect of cooling off the thermometer. It's a lot like when you get out of the shower, you feel cold. Even if it's a hot day, it might be 90, 95 degrees outside, maybe a heat wave, maybe it's even close to 100. You get out of the shower, at least for the first minute or so, you're going to feel cool. And then once the water evaporates off you, you warm up quickly. Anyway, if we look at my dry bulb, I have a dry bulb temperature of 20 degrees Celsius. So my dry bulb is equal to 20 degrees Celsius. 20 degrees Celsius is basically room temperature, so that makes sense. You know, I'm in the classroom, room temperature, 20 degrees, makes sense. So, to measure the humidity, what we need to do is get the difference between these two values. And of course, the difference is going to be 6 degrees. My difference is 6 degrees Celsius. Now we can actually compute a humidity. And we're going to take the dry bulb temperature, which is here of 20 degrees, and I'm going to take this difference of 6. Now to get the what's called dew point and the relative humidity, we're going to go to our earth science reference tables. Now we haven't gone over what exactly dew point means or what exactly relative humidity means yet, but we'll do that in, again, later videos. But I want to just at least show you how to use the tool so that you can get an answer. So I'm going to go to the reference tables, and this is on page 12. So we're on page 12 in the reference tables. And there are two charts. There's one for measuring dew point, and there's one for measuring relative humidity. Both of these charts are measurements of humidity, or dew point and relative humidity are both measurements of humidity, I guess I'll say. And again, we'll go over how they work and what they mean another time. I want to just show you how to get an answer for now. So my difference, when I subtracted my dry bulb and my wet bulb, was 6 degrees. So if I look across the top of the chart, 6 is here. It says difference between wet bulb and dry bulb. Well, there's 6. And now my dry bulb temperature was 20, which is right here. And then what you do is you go across and down, and where the two columns meet, or where the column and row meet, that's your answer. So for today at this time, the dew point was 10 degrees. So I'm going to write that down. Now, my dew point was equal to 10 degrees. One of the things that's kind of interesting about dew point, and we'll talk about it more later, is that dew point is not a temperature, even though it's called one. That might sound a little confusing. But it's not actually a temperature. It's dew point temperature, but it's really a measure of humidity. So I'm going to say measures humidity. It's not a measurement of actual air temperature directly. And that's a little confusing, but again, we'll do that in a separate video. Now, the procedure for getting relative humidity, and we'll talk about what that really means again another time, but relative humidity we would get in a similar way. So now I'm going to come down to the relative humidity chart. My difference is still 6. My dry bulb is still 20. And I'm going to come down and over to where they meet, and I get a relative humidity of 51. And so 51% relative humidity is shown as a percentage. So now I have 51% relative humidity. And again, we'll go over what that means exactly another time. But this is how you would use a Sling Psychrometer to measure humidity. And I'm going to ask you to do this and actually try it out. Use your reference table. You're, of course, not going to get the same numbers that I have here because the weather changes every day and even hour by hour. So these were the answers for this day and time. When you go to try it, it's going to be a different day and time, and you're going to get different numbers. But this is the procedure for getting dew point and relative humidity. And one of the last points that I want to make is you're going to be asked to do this with the actual Sling Psychrometer. But you'll also be asked to answer Regents questions. And some of the questions will give you the difference between the wet bulb and dry bulb and ask you to get the dew point or the relative humidity. They might just give you the dry bulb and wet bulb and ask you to figure out either dew point or relative humidity. Once in a while, you'll see a particularly hard question where they'll do something like they'll tell you the relative humidity and the dry bulb. And based on that, let's say they give you a relative humidity of 56 and a dry bulb of 18. Well, then we can see that the difference has to be 5. So you have to kind of work the problem backwards. Sometimes they'll give you the relative humidity and the dry bulb and ask you to get the difference, which you would get from reading up the chart. Sometimes they'll give you the relative humidity and the dry bulb and then ask you what the dew point was. And to do that, well, you would find the difference. If they gave you the relative humidity, say, of 66 and a dry bulb of 20, the difference would be 4. Then we would come up here. Well, the difference is still 4 and the dry bulb is still 20, and you could get the dew point from the relative humidity. Those problems don't come up often, but once in a while there's a particularly hard question where you have to basically work the problem backwards, and they'll give you the relative humidity and the dry bulb, ask you to then figure out the wet bulb, and then sometimes they'll even ask you, based on that, to figure out what the dew point is from the relative humidity. Again, those are unusual questions, but they do come up once in a while. It's something you should be aware of. All right, so I think that's pretty much it for the Sling Psychrometer. Pretty easy to use. I'd like you to try it out. Be careful when you spin these. Try to be easy on them. They break very easily. The tubes are made out of glass, so if you bend them, they will snap, they will crack. Again, it's rubbing alcohol in here, so it's safe. It's not like mercury, which is toxic or anything. But still, we don't want broken pieces of glass around and whatnot. The plastic backings break and get brittle over time. So try to be easy on these. Just gently spin them. Again, you don't have to spin them for very long, maybe like 30 seconds to a minute. Check the difference in your temperature and go through the procedure. Okay, but try to be gentle with these. They do break easily. Every year, a couple more break. So try to be as easy on these as you can. Don't get too carried away and spin them or too much or be too rough with them, I guess is my point. So give it a try. Hopefully it works out good. If you have any trouble, take another look at this video. Okay, so that's all for now.